like science.
I like science.
I like science.
What were you just
Science.
doing?
I was doing puppet face or ventriloquist dummy face or Canadian from South Park face. Just basically doing a hinged mouth sort of thing.
Sorry. You got me
Guess it
with
could
the
be cheap anime
Canadian.
face too.
Yeah,
It was just
there you
lip
go.
flapping.
Hmm.
Yep.
Oh, hi everybody.
So
Welcome back to Shield Podulation, or if you're joining us for the first time, welcome to Shield Podulation.
yeah,
I am but one of your hosts. I am Brandy Jackala, and with me is
I'm Dave. I thought she was going to say my name and then I'd say hello, but she just left a pause. So I am Dave.
we're off to a cracking start.
Yeah, we are.
I'm kind of giggly right now,
I can
so
tell. I was
yeah.
wondering why. Was it the cat?
No, not really.
Okay.
I just felt like being happy.
Oh, well, that's a nice switch to have, certainly.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Just, sometimes happiness is a choice. So,
yeah, well, the joy is the one thing they seem to want to rob from you most. So
yes.
hold on to it with both fists.
Oh, I am. Both fists, all my toes
Yep.
and
That's why the people
limbs.
is, how can you be doing that right now? Is like, because it brings me joy.
Mm-hmm.
And without joy, what's the point?
Yeah. So even in the face of ridiculous circumstances
Hmm.
that are soul crushing and causing people to die, uh, we still have to find those places
Yep.
where we can exist in happiness for a while.
Or as I think I put it on Blue Sky, it's a three ring circus where every performance is a clown show of masculine toxicity
Oh, that
or
is so
toxic
true.
masculinity, one or the other.
Yeah. Either way,
Yep.
yeah.
Either way, here we are.
Yeah, here we are. So, if you've all done your homework, then you have not listened to,
You watched
you
season
have
six,
watched episode 20,
episode 20 of
The
the
Chase,
Star Trek, The Next Generation, The
The
Chase.
Chase. The possibly one of maybe 10 episodes in the 80s to 90s stuff that I can remember what the episode is just from the title.
Yeah, I could see how you would remember this one.
Yeah. This one is actually one that has never left my mind.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
and when Discovery season 5 went back to that and
right.
connected to it, that actually made me really happy. And
Mm,
what actually really made me happy about that was that there still wasn't a clear answer to who created this ship, basically, this
right.
reality where they could seed life forms throughout the galaxy or
Yeah, because it
possibly the
seemed to
universe.
suggest even they were created. So where does it
Yeah.
all begin?
Yeah, exactly. So, and if it this the end of this episode is to be believed, we are seeing those progenitors there, but it could be that there were people even earlier than that. It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
I would be okay with it being the actual progenitors, but there's no way to interact with them. So there's no way to understand who they really were.
right.
So, anyway, long story short, let's get to this freaking episode. So,
Yeah, we start with some archaeology.
archaeology. Dun dun dun
Dun,
dun dun
dun,
dun.
dun,
Dun.
dun.
Yeah. That cowboy shit. Cowboy archaeology,
Oh, cowboy
basically.
archaeology?
Yep. That's what
Yeah.
Indiana Jones is cowboy archaeology.
Archaeologist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Paleontological cowboy. No, that's
yeah.
Jurassic Park.
So we've got Professor Galen, who was one of Picard's instructors, and Picard was really good, apparently, at archaeology and
Yes, he was
probably
like
history.
this Professor Galen's star student,
Hmm.
and Galen was a mentor to the point where it was a father and son like relationship. And
Yeah.
it felt like a betrayal when Picard was like, I'm going to go into Starfleet instead of becoming an archaeologist.
Well, the way that Picard tells it, he was never going to go into archaeology.
No.
Yes, he loved it, but he was always going to be a captain in his mind.
Yeah, because there's
So,
other ways to make discoveries, and
mhm.
you can do somewhat archaeology as a Starfleet captain,
Yeah.
on the side, and he has done so,
Yep.
applying his archaeological knowledge to discoveries in new worlds.
Yeah, he's had that background and it's been worked into his sort of not personality per se, but his abilities. That's the word I
Skill
was
set.
looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, skill set. That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I've been going back and trying to write a role-playing game again. So terms like
Yeah.
abilities, talents, skill sets, all these are kind of foremost in my mind right now, and like
Oh,
the
it
separation thereof.
makes me happy that you're playing
Yeah,
with that again.
trying doing that thing about
So,
saving throws right now,
yeah.
which is getting a
Anyway,
bit more involved than I want, but that's beside the point.
sorry.
Yeah.
Uh there's we start out at a star nursery
Yep.
in the Volterra Nebula.
Yeah, they're
It's a
scanning different
star
stars.
nursery.
Yeah, they're
They
like,
got a
okay,
they got a baby star keep being born,
yeah,
protostar, basically.
yeah. Like they scan one and like report it, and then another one gets born. They're like, yeah, scan that one, report it. So they're just basically taking names in this star nursery.
Yeah. And that's when Riker calls him and says, can you come to the conference room?
Yeah.
He
Hey, you
doesn't
have a
get
minute?
any
Was it what, the
any
observation deck, I think?
no, it's a conference room.
Oh, I thought it was
Because
the observation
there
deck
was
for
the
some
table
reason.
that he put that
Right.
it's the conference room and he put that on the
Huh.
that thing on the table and everything. That's where they have
Right.
their conferences when they're deciding what to
Yeah.
do about things
Okay.
and stuff.
Huh.
So yeah. Anyway, so they go to the lounge. It's
Yeah.
basically like a big lounge, but and he goes to the lounge and it's dark in there. Like,
Yes.
and obviously you can see two people standing off
Yep.
to the side, but it's only when Picard sees this thing on the table that he's like, "What the what?" And the lights turn on, and ha! It's Riker and Professor Galen. Surprise!
Yep. And there's a
And
ceramic thing on the table. Yeah.
a ceramic thing of sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a sort of
It's Buddha-ish.
it's Buddha-ish. It's almost like a how do I say it? It's almost religious in
Yeah.
its construction.
Yeah.
And it
It's
is,
iconographic.
yeah, and it's sort of, and it's the whole thing is the top comes off and you have all
Hmm.
of these smaller bits inside, and it's this idea of the many inside the one.
Yep.
We all have many voices that have been passed down to us, and we're a culmination of all of those people who came before us.
Yeah, that's the way he explained it. It was, yeah, I don't know if it was a generational thing or if it's just that we're built up of many selves. It's kind of like a mixture of the both of them. Like
Mhm.
theoretically, it could be one or the other. That perhaps
Yeah.
this was an ancestral thing, and all the people inside us are our forebearers, or also that the different voices, the different personalities that we all contain, that we our different hopes and desires are each represented by a different sort of person. Kind
Mm,
of id, ego, super ego thing, but expanded to include
mm,
even other things that were just a makeup of different aspects of our personality. That's a
yeah.
possibility too.
Yeah. Toxic farts from the cat.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah,
It
like,
turned and looked behind you, which is kind of funny because you have the Enterprise as a background.
yeah, well,
Was
that's
that
that's the
the
thing is
D?
like, yeah, it's the D, of course, it's the D.
Okay. Yeah,
Talking about TNG today.
yeah.
I always have the background for whatever thing,
Mm.
what's the word I'm looking for here?
Whatever
Series.
Starship
Series.
series you're on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the standing stations behind you,
Yeah.
standing workstations.
Basically, that's weapons and security.
Yeah,
That's kind of right behind me, though.
yeah.
And I have stood on the Enterprise bridge before with you, in fact.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Remember that time we got beamed up?
Yeah, we went to the Star Trek experience when it was still available in Las
Yeah,
Vegas.
it was really cool,
Yeah, it was
actually.
fun. It was
Had a
cool.
good time.
And they had a Wharf's bar there as well. It
Forks.
was really close to, or not Wharf, Quark's bar. Yeah, Quark's bar nearby. And it was really close to where, wasn't it in the Luxor or is this in a different building?
Oh no, it was not in the Luxor. I can't
Right,
remember where it was, but it was not the Luxor. I can tell you
right.
that much. Um, yeah, that was a lot of fun. The thing that I remember being the most just crazed about was when they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have to, just wait there. We're gonna have to beam you up." And everything goes dark and suddenly
Uh-huh.
you're on the bridge of the Enterprise, and
Yep,
that transition was
it's very
so
cool.
good. It
Yep.
was so good. I felt like I'd actually been beamed up. Like there's this little shiver of wind at the same time, and I'm like, "Ooh, what's that?" And then all of a sudden I'm on the Enterprise. I am on the Enterprise. You guys.
Yep.
That
I
was
think
very
some smartass with us pointed at a panel and was like an access panel that says, "What's that?" And I think without a beat, the tour guide, I guess you'd call it, said a Jeffrey's tube.
mm.
So
Well, there
that was
there were
fun.
several crew on the
Yeah.
bridge.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry about that. So yeah, basically what's going on is Professor Galen has discovered this sort of puzzle, and
Yes.
he wants Picard to come with him
Yep.
for like 6 months to a year. No big for a Starfleet captain, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He's
And figure out what this
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And the thing is that he's saying that it's gonna shake basically uh everyone's beliefs of how we came to be, the foundation of our genesis,
Right.
basically. So, and Picard's intrigued, but at the same time, he's like, hey, dude, I have a job.
Yeah.
I'm
To
the
leave
captain.
Starfleet for a year or more is not something
Hmm.
you just do. You have to
Yeah,
resign to step down for that long. And so it's either
yeah.
Starfleet or this. And so he declines.
Yeah. And Galen is not happy. He really dresses Picard down
Yep. Yeah.
unnecessarily mean and
It's
bad.
bitter.
Very bitter.
And it's the way he talks about Starfleet being like this crumbling empire sort of thing.
Hmm.
Where it's like that's not at all what Starfleet is, and you know it.
That's
You're
not what
just
the
angry.
Federation is either.
Yeah.
So anyway, he was supposed to get a Vulcan transport to this one place and then go on to another place. And they end up finding out that he's under attack at
Right.
this other planet. And so they go to help. And unfortunately, our friend Professor Galen is not long for this world.
No, nor either are the people attacking him.
Yeah, they did kind of get
Yeah.
blown up.
Well, yeah, they fired at I guess the tractor beam to
Hmm.
disable it, and the whole ship
It's
blew up,
destroyed the
which
ship.
is, yeah, this was a starship made of glass or something. What's it's
I guess. I don't
like
know.
not very strong ship to,
Yeah,
just a ship that was even meant to disable or harm it blew it up, but it was
yeah,
necessary for the story, I suppose.
yeah. Well, it was an Iridian destroyer. I don't know how the Iridians build their ships, but I think they need to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, yeah. It's
So
like they had an exhaust port that led to its reactor core right there next to the tractor beam.
yeah, that was so they do manage to transport Galen on board, and he's dying. There's
Yeah.
nothing that Crusher can do to save him,
It took what a
and
disruptor bolt to the chest, which
yeah,
is pretty gruesome looking wound.
it
And you see
is.
his life signs are weak.
Hmm. And Crusher, she's efficient, and if she says
Yep.
there's nothing she can do, then there's nothing anyone can do.
Yep.
Because if Crusher can't do it, then no one can.
Yeah.
Um,
He has moments left.
he does, and Galen uses those moments to apologize to Picard and uh say that he was wrong in the way he treated him. And yeah, basically he dies without being able to realize his dream of whatever it is that he's searching for. And
Right.
so the Iridians had taken some information from that ship, from his ship,
Uh-huh.
the transport, and they didn't get away with much. And what they did get away with, honestly, blew up with their ship.
Yeah.
But Picard finds all of these blocks of numbers.
Yeah, Worf, I think, and Data, I think,
Yeah,
oh, Geordi
they
too. I
find them.
think the three of them
Yeah,
together have compiled the information they were able to retrieve from this transmission.
yeah,
And
it
yeah, it's
does.
just blocks of five number series.
Hmm.
A lot of them are like
And
45,300, something like that.
yeah. And so now Picard is on the case because now this is a thing. This
Yeah,
is a
it's a
thing, and
mystery.
they're going to find out what's going on because
Hmm.
there, this man's ship was attacked, his mentor was killed. This is now a mission. This is not just a dalliance or a
Yeah.
distraction. This is a mission.
Yeah, because they're actually scheduled for a conference that's within a
Yeah.
few days or weeks or something.
Yep.
And I think it's Beverly in particular keeps bringing it up. So does Troy, I think, talks about, hey, we're doing this conference. And Troy
Yeah.
in particular, because she's picking up on his emotions because he's, conflicted, feels guilty, a bit obsessed with coming, to find the answer to this murder mystery of why Galen was killed and over
Hmm.
what. And yeah,
Yeah.
Picard gets a little bit of
Testy.
a testy against Troy, and she just excuses herself, and then he looks up like, "Oops, went a little far there."
Yep.
Just
He
kind
sure
of
did.
shouting at her about that this is not some, like you said, some dalliance. This is a murder. I'm going to get down to the, why it happened. And there's a
Hmm.
mystery here, and it seems to be important. So, we're going to
Yep.
pursue this to the very end.
Yeah, it's the chase is on,
Yeah, the
as they
chase
say.
is on.
The chase is on.
Y-
And
Yeah.
they are figuring out as they go what
Hmm.
these blocks of numbers mean. They uh find out that there was this unexplored system named Rua 4 that uh Galen may have been heading for, or had he already gone there. And then they are Picard is dead set on finding the connection between all of
Right.
these numbers. And so the next clue points them to the planet on Andri 8. And when they get there, all life is being destroyed on the planet.
Yeah, right at the moment they arrive, the planet is encountering a life-destroying effect, and yeah, everything's being destroyed. Yeah, leaving no trace of life, which is a bit
And
extreme.
was that the Cardassians or the Klingons
That
on that
was the
one?
Klingons because the
I
Klingons
thought
are
it was the
messy.
Klingons. Yeah, they're
And
messy that way.
leave it to a Klingon to take what they want and destroy the rest.
Hmm. So no one else can use it.
Right.
So, and that's why they destroyed this planet as well.
Yep.
So now it's just a dead globe just floating in space. That was
Yep.
just was a dick move too.
Dick move.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but also a dick mood.
Yep.
So they finally start to figure out what is going on with these, and it turns out that the number blocks are actually DNA fragments.
Yeah, they're like for different species. They're like
Hmm.
designators or something like that. Yeah. They're,
Yeah,
and Beverly compiles it all, and yeah, she finds a DNA fragment. And that is a fragment that seems to be shared amongst a few different species. And
yeah,
it's like billions of years old.
so old.
Yeah.
And they have gaps in this particular clue,
Yep.
and because they're going up by all these Federation races. And then Picard says, well, what about do how many crew members do we have who are non-Federation? And there's
Right.
17 of them. And with the help of that 17, the DNA from those 17, they realize the next place they need to go is Lauren 3. So the chase is back on.
Right.
And I started just being very short in what I was saying. I put down Cardassians! Exclamation point. Klingons! Exclamation point. Who
Yep.
will join next?
Yeah, the Cardassians, there's two ships there,
Mm-hmm.
and they make a
Yeah.
big deal out of outnumbering Picard.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Picard's like, you're never going to solve this without all the pieces, so we might as well all meet up. That's when we discover the Klingons were there too.
Yeah. The Cardassian captain, nice to see a female Cardassian captain,
Right?
but her outfit was so ill-fitting
Yeah, she's
that
kind of small for a Cardassian. And so,
I wouldn't say
yeah.
she's small, but she's just it looked to me like they took a Cardassian outfit that was originally designed for a male and just stuck her in it.
Yeah, she looks like David Byrne, in Talking Heads with the oversized suit. Just this
Yeah,
tiny head poking out of these broad shoulders. Or Klaus Nomi, I think, is another example of that. Just
yeah,
yeah,
it's
she's
just wrong.
her outfit is way too large. It's like when somebody cosplays as a transformer and uses cardboard boxes
Hmm.
and then like paints them kind of the blues and reds to be Optimus Prime. She kind of
Hmm.
looked like that and even walked kind of like that. Is like her arms were kind of wide apart because she couldn't walk normally because the
Hmm.
suit was too big. So she's walking
Yeah.
around like she's a robot.
Yeah, they did her a disservice with that
Yeah,
outfit. They
yeah.
really did.
Yeah, and
Uh, s-
the spoon on her forehead was kind of sparkly too, which is something we don't see in Deep Space Nine. It might have been a makeup adjustment. Unless
yeah, well,
the women Cardassians use makeup on their forehead spoon. That's a
they could.
possibility.
They could. This is about the time where it's not about the time, it is the time where Deep Space Nine and TNG are overlapping.
Right.
So we know about Cardassians at this point. Of course, we knew about Cardassians before from TNG, but now we're seeing a lot more of them.
Yes.
And the Marquis were right. So they decide basically the Cardassians and the Klingons both think it's some kind of ancient weapon that will tip
Yeah.
the balance and no one can touch
Yeah.
them, etc. Because of course
Uh,
that's what they would think.
the Klingons believe it's a weapon because of course they would.
Hmm.
The Cardassians don't know exactly what it is, but they assume that it's inexhaustible energy source.
Oh, unlimited power source. You're right. That's in
Yeah,
my notes and I didn't read
right.
it.
So I remembered that they have very distinct ideas of what it is. Well, of course, Picard doesn't know what it is because he's not
Yeah.
leaping to conclusions. He just knows it's something that's possibly important, and
Well,
that
and
if anything, it should be in the hands of everyone, not just one
yes.
person.
Yes, and that is the whole point of this particular chase. We have a little what's the word I'm looking for here? Interlude where the Klingon captain is trying to bribe Data, but he starts
Right.
with the Ba'at Kul challenge, which is basically arm wrestling.
Yeah, it's a
And
different kind of arm wrestling. It's almost as bad as that. Hey, pull your fist towards yourself and I'll hold it.
mhm,
And you'll see how long you could do that. And then you let go and they punch them in their face. It's almost that bad of a
yeah,
challenge, basically. It's with both arms and one tries to go outwards with the arm while the other one goes inwards.
mhm,
And Data instantly goes inwards and slaps both arms on the table.
yeah,
And then he follows up with a headbutt, which practically knocks himself out, even with the bone
mhm,
ridges, because
yeah.
Data's skull is all metal and shit.
And that's when he tries to bribe Data, and
Yep.
Data's just like, "Bitch, please."
It's like you're intelligent and you're strong. We could really use you in the Klingon Empire. He's like, are you attempting to bribe me? He's like, well, this is the definition of a bribe.
Hmm.
Is you want me to go against the wishes of my, you know, the people I work for or work with,
Yeah.
and you have an award to do so. That sounds like a bribe to me.
Yep. So this is when things really start to get a little more convoluted because they're basically letting the Cardassians believe a clue is where a clue is leading, and they basically send them on a wild goose chase.
Yeah, they mentioned the wrong planet as the next
Hmm.
step in the chase, and they have them
Yeah.
all gathered around when discussing this.
Yes.
Geordi and I think Worf also discover that the Cardassians have sabotaged their systems.
Hmm.
And so possibly to weaken them, weaken their shields when fired upon. So yeah, when the Cardassians leave to go off to this new destination, they fire upon the Enterprise, and of course everybody already knows, and so they're trying to fake being injured by making the lights in the nacelle flash a little.
Yeah, because what do the Cardassians know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, Riker says something like Vince and plasma or something just to make it look like we, got hit.
yeah. It's apparently the system that they were being sent to on a wild goose chase was the Ram Izad system.
Ah.
So, and so they're free to continue on with their chase. And this is when they discover the Romulans
Well,
are already on the case as well. Nice to see some Romulans.
yeah,
And
but
these are actually very well behaved Romulans.
yeah, they really are. Before that, the Klingons get left behind because they didn't prepare for
Yep.
the attack, even the ambush, even though they knew beforehand,
Mm-hmm.
which,
Dumbasses.
yeah, the captain was not too happy about. So the captain of the Klingon ship stays aboard the Enterprise to go to this next destination where we do meet the Romulans who show up when they're on planet investigating this I guess this fossil, this
Mm-hmm.
like cliff face that has some fossilized DNA that Beverly surreptitiously gets a sample.
She being shifty and sneaky.
It's very suspicious the way they do it too. They're not very nonchalant about it, but it is a nice little comedic moment, them doing shifty eyes together, and she's like
Mm-hmm.
scraping things into a bottle and hands the bottle over to Picard and he puts it on their little scanner. And
Yeah,
it like
puts it on the
scans
typewriter.
immediately and then beep beep and a hologram
Yeah,
appears.
because those 24th century tricorders are the bomb.
Hmm.
So yeah, they scan really fast.
So
But yeah,
yeah,
I'm just
me
like
yeah.
acting shifty is the worst thing you can do. You're supposed to act natural while you're
Yep.
doing this stuff so people don't
Yep.
look at you and go, "What are you doing?"
Yep.
Gosh,
Yeah.
guys, do you
Yeah,
know
so
nothing about what's the word I'm looking for here? Subterfuge. There it
subterfuge. Yep.
is. Yeah.
Romulans, Cardassians, Klingons, including Worf, because this Klingon captain is buddied with Worf, and they're holding phasers out. So it's this standoff. They're all vying for getting whatever this treasure is, and that's when the
Hmm.
hologram appears and kind of disrupts the whole fight
Yeah,
by speaking its piece.
I swear in my brain when you said Worf and the Klingon captain were holding, and I thought hands.
Yeah, might as well have been. This the captain was calling him brother, which I imagine Worf liked a great deal because he seems to very much enjoy when he is accepted by fellow Klingons, because that seems to be, having been adopted and raised off-world, something that
Yeah,
he seems to consider a failing of his own is how, Klingon or not Klingon he is, culturally speaking.
yeah. So this message is this hologram of a life form that is humanoid
Hmm.
and is very close to looking both human, Cardassian, Romulan, Klingon, etc. All of these things.
Yeah, kind of a smooth default model,
Yeah.
like back in the day, there's the 80s Marvel superhero role-playing game, and they had little cards with each of the superheroes, almost like collector cards, and they had their stats on the back. And then there were a set of three, I think, blank ones that you could fill your own that you could trace over, and they just had basic outlines
Hmm.
of a man and a woman, and then a very, very muscular man, kind of like if you're playing a Hulk-like character. And so it
Yeah.
just kind of reminded me of that, or like when you're in like character creation mode in a video game and you just have this blank. Usually they give you the generic, hey, you're going to play with this guy unless you want to make somebody else. But, just a blank slate of a person, very similar to the Changelings, the founders.
Yeah.
And in fact, so
Well,
similar that it's the same actor.
it is the same actor who is also the lead female changeling.
Hmm.
So, which I kind of figured, but the changeling makeup is a bit different.
Yeah,
And
it's not by
but the
much because it's a
voice,
lot of it is just smoothed out features. Like the
yeah,
nose is a little flattened, the ears aren't as defined.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I could tell by her voice and her
right,
mannerisms that it was the same person, but I confirmed it because back in the day there wasn't IMDb and I couldn't look this shit up.
right.
So I realized when we were rewatching this rather last night, I'm like, oh, I can look this up and see who this is. And I've already forgotten her name. I'm so sorry.
Ah,
But she's still kicking. She's 90 years old now,
dang.
still kicking. She was working as recently as a couple of years ago. So way to go.
Yep.
But yeah, basically the story is that they were a species that lived and evolved and started traveling out into space to see what was out there and found that they were all alone.
Yep.
And so they decided to seed other worlds with their DNA to grow some neighbors, I guess.
Yeah, because they found the universe lonely, and so they
Mm-hmm.
seeded life across the galaxy, the quadrant, and
Yep.
possibly you would imagine even outside the quadrant if we find other species outside the quadrant that are humanoid. Because really,
Yeah.
this is Star Trek's excuse for its alien races just having different foreheads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that
So
is like a charge leveled against Star Trek is, that everybody's humanoid with a slight difference.
yeah. And
And
this episode
yeah.
was to say, well, shut the fuck up. Here's your explanation.
Yeah, which I don't particularly care for, but we can get into that after we've discussed the full episode. But yeah, that's basically the point. Is that
Yeah.
fingerprints of the gods kind of thing. This one alien species seeded intelligent life throughout the cosmos. And so it's not really through the science of nature, but through the science of this particular race that all intelligent life thrives. And
Yeah.
so
Well,
the Klingons are similar to the Romulans, are similar to the Vulcans, or well, we already knew that, but Cardassians, humans, they're all share the same basic seed of life.
yeah. But I wouldn't say that it was genetically engineered because they didn't engineer some kind of specific thing. They
Right,
basically is just like, this is our DNA. Let's put some on this planet, see what happens, see if it grows.
right.
So, and they do that, well, it would seem throughout the galaxy, because
Yep.
yes, the Alpha Quadrant is basically where most of Star Trek takes place, but then we go into the Delta Quadrant, we go into the Gamma
Mhm.
Quadrant. I mean, and we've even been to the Beta Quadrant, very little, but in Star Trek Discovery season 2, we went there. So, Beta
So yeah,
Quadrant,
all these races developed, evolved into their own specific form, but shared certain traits, being bipedal
mm-hmm.
and, having stereo vision and that sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
it doesn't quite explain certain things like bipedal reptilian species, which would be a
It
bit different.
Well, it's dependent upon what the atmosphere was for the planet.
Well, yeah, because it makes you wonder too, because the progenitors seemed hairless, and so would you classify them as mammals or what? So, yeah, it's kind of tricky to pinpoint exactly how everyone shares this DNA. It's just kind of used as a band-aid over this criticism people have regarding the alien species of Star Trek.
Yeah.
It
And I
doesn't
get
get
that.
terribly specific.
Well, it was the early 90s,
Yeah.
and I think I understood what they were attempting to do. And I think if they were doing it now, it would have been done in a much better way. But this is what we have.
Well, they
So,
did sort of do it now too in Star Trek Discovery because we revisit this whole thing
yeah, but
in
at the
what the
same
final
time,
series,
yeah, the final season. In fact, that's like the series season finale stuff is on the progenitors
right?
ship, which we find out actually isn't, the first that it's not under the ownership of the first people who were there.
Yeah, that the progenitors might not have been the first either, that somebody might have created them. And so it's just this infinite regress is like who the first mover, the first starter is. It just keeps going back and back and back. And, who
Well,
knows who
to
seeded
be
life
to be
originally.
fair, to be fair, they didn't necessarily dispute
Right.
that this was the progenitor's original ship, array, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
The being that was on board that Michael spoke with was a hologram and was not really there. And she said, "We found this
Right.
and we used it." That doesn't mean that the progenitors that we see in this episode were not still before them.
Right. So
So,
these might not be the progenitors either, just using progenitor technology.
yeah, the ones in Discovery were just using the technology,
Right.
and they still didn't know who had built this whole massive thing
Right.
that is actually a mind-boggling piece of technology.
Yeah, it's got like interdimensional rifts inside of it and everything. So you can visit multiple worlds just by going through a door or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's probably the fucking Metrons. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Well, it seems very similar technology to that prison we saw in Strange New Worlds with all
Hmm.
those quantum flux areas, different rooms and different state of flux.
Hmm. Yeah. Anyway, the lovely speech that this hologram makes falls mostly on deaf ears. Uh,
Yeah, the Klingons are disappointed.
yeah, well, Worf is not, but
Yeah.
the captain is. "That's all? If she were not dead, I would kill her."
Yeah, the Cardassians aren't too happy either. They're
Yeah.
like, well, this is useless.
To
It
think that
doesn't
I could
serve,
have
yeah,
something in common with a Klingon.
yeah, it doesn't serve our purpose at all. It won't
Hmm.
advance our imperialism. So,
Yeah.
in fact, it kind of puts a hamper on it because if we're controlling people very similar to us, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
If
Well,
we're
when it comes right down to it, we're
occupying
all,
planets that we share the same DNA with them.
yeah. The thing is that we're all made of star stuff.
Yeah.
We're all made of basically the same components.
Yeah. Uh, was it C. Hopkins Cafe? Pretty good salt. This is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Is it potassium or is that K? That's K. Phosphorus. Iodine? Is that the I? Or is that iron? No, iron is Fe, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know the periodic
Nitrogen,
table by myself. So,
sodium chloride. What's Pg? Forget what Pg is. But anyway, there's very basic compounds and elements that we consist of. And our DNA, I mean, the DNA we share with chimpanzees is remarkably similar. There's
mhm,
very few differences between our DNA and that of other primates. And also, the structure of DNA doesn't really mean much because the structure of DNA for tomato is incredibly complex, more complex than our own. And there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it, which also suggests that there might not be intelligent design.
mm.
Because what does a tomato need such complex DNA for? Well, it's
It
just
tastes
this
delicious.
this plant. And meanwhile, here we are with, language and tool
Mhm.
use and stuff, and a tomato has more complex DNA than we do.
Yeah, maybe they're awake at night and that's when
Mm.
they
Or
roam
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
freely. Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. They've had enough.
they
They are
have.
done being subservient to humans.
Yeah. They know
They're
they're better
done.
than us. They're just
Yeah.
pretending
Hmm.
to sit there all
Yeah.
juicy and acidic.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Mm.
Yum.
Want
Yeah,
wanting to be in Pico Gallo.
oh, Pico Gaye. Pico Gaye.
Galle?
Pico de Gaye. Yeah.
Pico de Galle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is basically what onions and tomato mixed
And
in some
such.
kind of lime juice or something.
Oh yeah, the lime juice. You gotta have the
Yeah.
lime juice. Oh God, the lime juice. Yeah. Um, it's interesting though, because after they've beamed back up to the ship, they're contacted by the Romulans.
Uh-huh.
And the Romulans actually say, "Hmm, perhaps we aren't so different after all."
Yeah, with similar hopes, similar dreams, similar fears that we might not be so dislike one another. So perhaps one day, which is kind of ties into like a bookend of this whole thing is this greeting, and it was a question that I guess Picard got wrong on his exam, is there's this greeting this certain species had that I guess passed through history, archaeology kind of thing, is dream not of today, which,
Hmm.
the meaning of that is dream of tomorrow. It's like what happens next. Don't think about what's happening now. Think of what happens next. Dream of the future. What
Hmm.
comes next? And so it's interesting that they kind of end on that, but not really saying it. It's like,
Yeah.
well, perhaps one day, as in don't dream of today.
Yep,
So a
perhaps one
nice little
day.
hopeful note at the end between, Picard and this Romulan captain.
Yep, maybe someday we can all just get along.
Just get along, yep.
Yeah.
Sharing this small universe together.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have any other thoughts on this episode, my darling?
It bothers me because I don't go with the fingerprints of the gods thing.
Mm,
I like that life develops naturally through the means of however it began. If it was the primordial soup, which gets referenced in here, is that they just dump their DNA into the primordial soup and voila. It's, it's so mechanical that way. I think it
mm,
loses its wonder that life didn't spring through the sheer chaos of the Big Bang and, worlds developing and finding this Goldilocks zone where Earth happened to have, water, a moon that kept its orbit stable, the tides and air vents and these single cells that would form colonies for warmth and then would develop into more complex groups of cells and becoming organisms that would eventually climb out of the sea. And all that's very fascinating. And if you just take that away and make it, like a Lego set or something, it's like a chemistry set. It's like uh, just dumping a bunch of brine shrimp into, your little aquarium and having your little sea monkeys. I don't like that. I like the wonder of life developing spontaneously. I mean, that's the fascinating thing about it. And when you take that away and make it aliens did it, it loses my interest. And it becomes like the History Channel, Ancient Aliens kind of thing, that everything great that humanity ever has ever done wasn't done by primitive cultures because nobody can accept that the pyramids were made by people from an age earlier than us. Aliens had to make it. I
yeah.
just don't gel with that.
Yeah, I get that because pyramids were absolutely made by humans. I mean,
Yeah.
I have seen shows where they have demonstrated the techniques that Egyptians used to build the
Hmm.
pyramids.
Or
And you would think,
Stonehenge. Yeah.
yeah, it's like there's no way they could have do that. Yes,
Yep.
there is because they
Yep.
did it. You
They
can
did
see
it.
it.
Yeah. If you look at old Gothic cathedrals and what an amazing archaeological feat that was.
Yeah, how the fuck did they build Notre Dame in the
Yeah.
time that they did? That's
Yep.
insane.
Yeah. Ingenuity.
Hmm.
And yeah. And you take that away by saying, hey, it's aliens that gave us this intelligence. And I don't, yeah, it's kind of funny that, a lot of these Star Trek species are just, different forehead prosthetics or noses or ears. But there's nothing to say that there can't be parallel developments of life. If life develops in a certain fashion on one world, what's preventing it from another? Because there's this thing called, I believe it's the cancerization of life, is various different species as they evolve become more and more crab-like.
Hmm.
And so
Hmm.
you have crabs coming from different originating species.
Hmm.
So it's like a reverse kind of evolution thing. Instead of like a tree growing out from one source, it's like different branches leading into the one thing, which is this crab-like
Hmm.
being. And so why not that with these humanoids, these maybe primates throughout the cosmos? Is that's just kind of a default thing that life does is, eventually it grows into what we are across different worlds. I mean, that's perfectly acceptable in my opinion, especially if you're doing, a science fiction series and you want to have aliens that you can relate to. I mean, Strange New Worlds is doing a little bit better with their aliens because there's some truly, truly alien aliens on Strange New Worlds where there's energy beings and the Gorn being like the Skeksis meets the
Not all
Xenomorph.
of them. Not
Yeah,
all of them, because we've seen that there are different configurations of Gorn. They
right.
don't all look the same.
Yeah.
So,
So, yeah, that you can have very distinct aliens, but you still get the occasional just this person with different prosthetics. But Yeah, I don't care for the fingerprints of the gods thing really at all, the ancient aliens thing, and that Star Trek says, "Yep, this is how it happened." Like, no, I don't accept it. I think you're perfectly fine with science just having parallel evolution. That's perfectly acceptable. Why not? Why not just say that?
Yeah. It doesn't actually bother me that much because it's science fiction.
Yeah.
And this is what science fiction does. It makes huge leaps
Mm,
in what's the word I'm looking for here? God, I can't find the word. I hate when I do that. Huge leaps of faith, basically, I guess, is
right.
what they do in science fiction. And so that's what I take it as. I take it as fiction.
Yeah, I can see that. It's just it's already tr been tread territory because it's the same
Hmm.
thing Prometheus did
Fucking Prometheus
with
can fuck
with
right off.
its engineers
Hmm.
creating life and then deciding they didn't like it and sought to destroy it. Yeah, it's something we see again and again as, I think I don't know if Stargate quite did that.
Mm,
I I think they were just visitors that influenced life
yeah.
rather than seeded
They
it.
they didn't really create life that I recall, but it's been a while
Yeah.
since I've watched Stargate all the way through.
Yeah,
So
Battlestar Galactica gets kind of weird with that, but I didn't like the final season of Battlestar anyway.
I don't know anybody that did
Yeah.
because it was confusing and it was the first half of the
Yeah.
season was like a year later after. I mean, there was a year between the first
Yeah.
half of the season and the last half of the season, and it felt, and then there was like a year between the previous season and the last season. And it's just it was you never knew when the fuck it was going to be on. And this was back before DVRs, friends.
Yeah, well, you're watching this science fiction series and suddenly went all spiritual with angels and stuff, and you're like, what? What are we doing?
Yeah, well, what are angels but just a different configuration of people?
I
Because that's what I
suppose.
look that's the way I look at Stargate. I mean, Stargate, it looks like these people are, gods. They're
Right.
not. They're just advanced beings.
Yeah.
So suck it, Gwald. Just suck it.
Yeah. I think other than the bugbear of the whole fingerprints of the gods thing, it's a good episode. It's a good Picard episode. We get to
Mm,
see a range of acting from him, his anger, his despair, his grief, all these sides of his personality, and also the obsession over completing this mystery, finding, the answer to this wild goose chase, which is, where they're getting the term from. I think we get good bits of Troy, just occasionally getting Picard away to go talk because she
mm,
senses his turmoil dealing with
yeah.
that. So I think we get a lot from all the characters involved. They contribute well. We see really the best of them.
Mm,
They don't. Nobody seems to be out of character, which is great. Because I get disappointed whenever I see a character written unlike how the character would behave, and this everybody's doing what they're assigned to do. Everybody's just straight down the middle performing their roles, and yeah, I liked Beverly all coiled cat-like on Picard's sofa in his quarters. That was a nice touch. He's
yeah.
like, "Hello, Beverly." He's kind of kicking your feet up, aren't you?
Yeah, well,
Well,
I think they've
yeah.
been fucking. But anyway,
Yeah, well, we know from the Picard series that that is indeed a fact.
yeah, they've been fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Anything
weird
else you
because
want to
that would be
say?
fraternization because she's ranked lower than he is.
I know they're keeping
So
it on the
that's
DL.
that's a no-no. It's like if she was also a captain, then fine, but she is not. She is lower rank. You should not be fraternizing.
Well, she is a commander, but she also has the power to remove the captain if he
Hmm.
is acting irrationally.
Oh, all the more reason not to get romantically involved with somebody who could remove you from command.
Yeah, well, they're grown adults. They can do what they want. I'm not going to worry
Yeah,
about
I
it.
suppose.
So, one of the things I like the most about Patrick Stewart's performance in this is in the beginning, in that opening, the cold open, when he sees the gift that Galen has
Right.
brought him, the statue, and he said, "Open it." He's like, "It's complete." and he lifts the top part of this off, and he has like this childlike joy
Hmm.
and fascination on his face, and it's just so well done.
Yeah,
It
and
just
even when
makes me
he's
happy.
trying to remember or figure out what dynasty this object comes from, he's like, well, it could be fifth. No, it's third. It's
It's
third
third.
because of the makeup on the eyes. I guess the eyes are closed, and that would give an indication that it was third and not fifth.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess maybe closed in meditation or something.
Yeah.
Um, Also, Galen, I believe, is the name of an ancient uh, doctor, physiologist, and
Hmm.
he had ridiculous cures for things like strapping a dead chicken to your thigh, that sort of stuff. Very medieval kind of, smear manure into a wound kind of stuff.
God, no. Ugh,
Yeah,
gross.
and was revered as being like one of the brightest minds of his time. And it was just all these ridiculous things that we look at these days and go, that's just dumb.
Yeah, well,
The
and
nature of
that's
disease and wound healing and stuff like that.
yeah. I just take all that with a grain of salt. I mean, they thought they were cutting edge at the time, and I get that. We
Yeah.
always think we're whatever age we're in is we think it's the cutting edge, that nothing is going to get better than this,
It's
etc.
pretty crazy as how good the Egyptians were at the time,
Mm-hmm.
even though they didn't know the brain was as important as it was. They thought it was kind of a useless organ. That's why when mummifying you, they just scrape it out of your skull and dump it on the floor because it was
Uh,
meaningless. That your thoughts, your feelings, all that stuff was in your heart.
yeah, no, they didn't scrape it out of the skull. They yanked it through the nose.
Yep, they yanked it through the nose. Yeah, but
Nasty.
they understood that honey had disinfectant qualities, so they'd use
Hmm.
that to purify wounds. So yeah,
Yep.
the Egyptians had it on going on, except for not knowing what the brain did.
Yeah. That whole honey thing didn't really help Tutankhamun.
No,
So
yeah,
poor guy, too young to go.
yeah.
But there it is. He took an arrow to the knee.
It's just that's ended his adventuring days, I guess.
Yeah. I used to be an adventurer that I took an arrow to the
Yeah.
knee. For people who have played Skyrim, you know what we're talking about. For people who haven't, well, it's funny. It's like at least one guard says it in every fucking city.
Yeah, it gets old after a while. It's like another one. I used to be an adventurer till I took an arrow to the knee.
Oh, did someone steal your sweet roll? I was like, come here and say that to my face.
Mm.
I'll show you who stole my
Wait till a
fucking
dragon
sweet.
lands in the middle of town and kills y'all.
Yeah, yeah. You'll be happy for me to be around then, believe you me.
Because that has happened to me in Riften.
Yes, it happens in Riften all the goddamn time.
Yep.
Like so much in Riften.
That
I
clan
think it
of
happens.
werewolves, like
Yeah,
wipe them out. He's like, oh, how am I supposed to become a werewolf now when they all get
yeah,
killed?
fucking hell. Yeah, well, the werewolves are in Whiterun.
Right. Oh, that's
And
right. Whiterun is the one I'm thinking of. Riften is a different town then. But
yeah,
yeah,
Riften is the one where you
Whiterun.
get to the Thieves Guild, but they also have a
Ah,
fuckload of dragons flying over.
yeah,
Every
Whiterun is
time I
where it
fast
happened.
travel, every time I fast travel to Riften,
Yeah.
there's the music starting for the fucking dragon. I'm like, where is it? Where is it? Are you just gonna circle the sky forever? Or are you gonna come down here so I can kill you?
Or those vampires will show up and start slaying everybody. That'll happen too.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. I don't know how that degenerated into Skyrim stuff. It's probably my fault.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
yeah. So there we go. There's the chase. And that means it's time to find out what we
Ooh.
are
Oh,
doing
I
next.
was gonna ask you, are we gonna be adding con to this, or does the podcast series count?
We're not doing anything that's not televised,
Okay, so it has to be a film or a
a
television
film or a
series.
television.
So the
Basically,
podcast we're not adding. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah, the podcast isn't really canon because anything that's on screen is canon.
Right. Okay.
So,
Because I
yeah.
know there's some like Star Trek writers involved. So yeah,
Oh,
that's why I
I'm
asked.
absolutely going to listen to it, but
Right.
we just won't be including it in shield modulation.
Cool.
So that's what we're doing. Alrighty then. So here we go. Um, no, don't do that. So here we go. All right. Get my little cursor where it needs to be. All right, here. Give me a random number between 1 and 954. 520.
All right. Right around to the middle
520.
there.
It's going to be Deep Space Nine, I'll bet you. 520. 520. There you are. DS9, Season 6, Episode 22, Valiant. Have no idea what that episode's about from the title,
Uh,
but there it is. Another Deep
oh,
Space Nine.
I was gonna ask you, have you been marking the ones we've done just in case, or
Of course.
okay, good. Like
Of
highlighting them
course.
or something.
Yeah, every single one that I choose, I turn it into because these are color coded
Right,
by Dan. So each one that we choose to do, I change the color of that line to a light gray and put the
right.
text in black. Whereas all of the
All
rest
right.
is in backgrounds of orange and purple and
Okay.
etc. And the text is white. So yeah, I know which ones we've done just by that.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
Because yeah, I don't want to come across one because I know we had one that we had just done the time before, which was kind of funny. Got the
Yeah, that
exact same
was
number.
that. And then we had the exact same number again. And that I'm just like, okay, that's a glitch. We're not doing that.
Yeah,
So that's when I went a different way and I started having Siri do it.
right.
So yeah, because Siri knows what to do instead of being stupid. So there we go. Yeah, Deep Space Nine again. Well, that's hardly surprising, really, with how many episodes there are. But again, your homework is Deep Space Nine, Season 6, Episode 22, Valiant. And we'll be back next week when we're talking about that. Do you have anything you want to tell the folks out there,
Um,
Davey?
recommendation, Bandcamp Friday was just yesterday. I picked up a Gene Loves Jezebel album from 2022, I think, which is kind of crazy that they're still around and still singing. You can hear a little bit of age in the voice, but not a whole lot. The bass is still amazing. Some of the best bass playing and bass riffs I've ever heard in Gene Loves Jezebel, but I have a certain predilection towards more simple, pronounced bass lines, and this really uh, hits that or scratches that itch for me. But it's a covers album, and I don't know most of the songs. I don't know who covers or who sang the original tune, but there's a few in there, like In Between Days from The Cure's on there. So as much as I like collecting covers albums, it was a nice find, and I enjoyed that very much. So that's available on Bandcamp for those interested. It's right now Lauren Lapkus's birthday.
Happy
You may
birthday,
know
Lauren
her
Lapkus.
as Jennifer from Lower Decks, the
Mm-hmm.
Andorian. It was just kind of added through an improvised line and became a character later to be, a romantic interest in foil,
Way
back
to
and
go,
forth between
Tawny, for
those two
that.
things. So, yeah, Tani got her friend from Spontaneation Days, Lauren Lapkus, getting on there. So you might know her from one of the Jurassic Park sequels as one of the techies.
Mm-hmm.
Jurassic World, I think she's in.
Yep, that's
She's in
right.
the control room. She had a podcast where it was a different podcast each episode, and she was the guest, and her guest would be the host. And the only one that was like one they would return to are the Christmas ones that Paul F. Tompkins would get on as Santa.
Oh, of
And
course.
Lauren would be the troublesome, kind of naughty elf who would swear a lot.
Mm,
And then Santa would have to chastise her. No,
yep,
no,
that makes
no.
sense.
Don't be saying that. And then she would go like,
Fun.
so yeah, you could probably find that Lauren Lapkus's podcast. So, yeah, those are the things I have. Otherwise, find me on Blue Sky, DJ Evil Dave. There's Shield Modulation is also on Blue Sky. Tumblr, I try to remember to post episodes. YouTube, you can find the episodes there. Hear this if you want to listen to the MP3 directly, not go through Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That's something you can do. They haven't gotten me for sharing too much in my bandwidth yet.
Oot.
So going weekly doesn't seem to have affected things too much.
That's good.
Hoping I'm keeping current with that because it seems to happen if I upload multiples in within a week. Yeah, it'll give me a warning message. But yeah,
Rude.
DJ Evil Dave on Bandcamp too, and pretty much anywhere I'm DJ Evil Dave, you can find me that way.
Cool. We do another podcast. Wow, podcast.
Podcast.
Fucking hell.
Podcast.
Podcast called Boldly Go, which is obviously about Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And we are planning, hopefully, Tuesday to get that next one out for the episode Terrarium.
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 Terrarium. And so that'll be fun. I also do a live show with my friend Dan. Thanks again, Dan, for the use of your spreadsheet. And it's called The Unready Room. We do it live on Saturdays on YouTube at 12 noon Mountain Time. Figure it out for yourselves. If you can't watch it while we're doing it live, you can still watch the video after the fact. And that's on Dan's YouTube channel, which is Kurt Ratz Productions. And honestly, just subscribe to his channel because you're going to want to look at all of those videos that he does.
Yeah, it was pretty funny when we brought up our Roku and went to YouTube and it was right there in the to watch field.
Yep.
It's like, oh, there's Unready Room right there. Huh.
Yeah, I just got done with that. Huh.
Yeah.
Funny. So yeah, good times to be had by all. And yeah, that's I think that's all she wrote.
All right.
So
Valiant. Deep
Valiant.
Space Nine is the next episode we will discuss. So returning to Deep
is.
Space Nine again, still haven't hit any original series. Be interesting when we do.
Interesting because there's over 60 episodes of that, so come on.
Yeah, just early days and we haven't rolled the number under 60 yet. So
yeah. Alrighty then. Thanks for joining us and we'll talk to you in a week's time.
bye.
Bye bye.
Silver.